Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we blend casual conversations with insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. Today, we're embarking on a pretty fascinating deep dive. We're exploring everything from how to choose your next computer, which I know trips people up,
Oh, yeah.
to the surprising origins of today's internet, and some really cutting-edge developments in AI, and some cool new gadgets. We've got a stack of great sources here. Articles from Tom's Guide, Mashable, The Verge, and CNET, all packed with smart insights. Our mission for you, our listener, is basically to give you that shortcut to being truly well-informed. Maybe some surprising facts, a few aha moments, hopefully.
Definitely.
Think of it like a friendly chat, over coffee, but about the tech that genuinely matters.
Precisely. We'll break down the essentials, connect some dots you might not have seen before, and make sure you walk away with not just facts, but a clearer understanding of what's genuinely happening in the tech world.
And why it impacts you.
Exactly. Why it impacts your daily life.
All right, let's kick things off with something super practical. Buying a new PC, it can feel like navigating a maze out there, right?
Absolutely. So many choices.
Yeah. Our first source from Tom's Guide lays out 5 really key questions you should ask yourself before you even start looking. The absolute first, and maybe most crucial, is what do you actually need it for? I mean, it sounds simple, but I know so many people who skip this step.
They really do?
Are we talking basic browsing and homework for a student? Or are you dreaming of 4K gaming and serious video editing?
That's spot on. And the reason need comes before budget is, well, it sets a realistic expectation for cost.
Yeah.
A cheap PC is perfectly fine for basic tasks, sure, but if you're aiming for a decent gaming rig, you're already looking at, the 4-figure mark.
Mm-hmm.
For instance, an Apple Mac Mini M4, great for processing power, starts around $599. But a Dell XPS 8960, good for modern gaming, is about $1,100.
Oh.
And if you're chasing cutting-edge gaming, wow, prepare to spend anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000. Understanding your use case up front avoids a lot of sticker shock and disappointment later. It just clarifies things.
Speaking of specs, what about graphics cards? The GPU, do you really need a discrete one? I feel like it's always the big confusing upgrade people get pressured into.
It's true, yeah. Discrete graphics cards are often the biggest and most expensive component in a PC. And look, they are absolutely essential if you're into serious gaming, high-end video editing, game development, or heavy AI work. No question.
Okay, so for the power users.
Exactly. But if you're just doing basic tasks, browsing, email, documents, your CPU's integrated graphics will likely suffice without any issues.
Good to know.
We really have 3 main players here. NVIDIA, which, tends to offer the most powerful, often priciest cards like the RTX 5090.
Top of the line.
Then there's AMD. They offer some great value options, particularly good if you're not gaming in 4K.
Right.
And interestingly, Intel re-entered the GPU market, and their cards, like the Arc B580, have proven surprisingly effective for 1080p budget gaming. It's a solid entry point.
Huh. Didn't realize Intel was back in that game so strongly.
Yeah, they're making some waves.
And then there's RAM, random access memory. Our source suggests this is even more important than the CPU for avoiding headaches, which kind of surprised me. How much RAM is the sweet spot?
That insight is actually spot on for everyday users. It really is.
Yeah.
Many budget PCs still skimp with only 8 GB of RAM, and that's often the culprit behind that sluggish feeling, like when everything just hangs for a second.
Ugh, yeah.
Yay, that.
For Mac OS and Windows, 8 GB is really the absolute minimum these days. But 16 GB, that's truly the sweet spot for most home and office tasks. It just makes everything feel so much smoother, more responsive.
16 seems to be the magic number then.
For most people, yes. Now, if you're into serious gaming, intensive video editing, or heavy coding, you'll definitely want at least 32 GB.
Okay.
And you can go up to 48, 64 GB, but that's generally overkill unless you're a hardcore professional pushing your machine to its absolute limits daily.
Got it. 16 GB for most, 32 GB plus for the heavy hitters.
Pretty much. Finally, the age-old dilemma that plagues every new computer buyer. Windows or Mac OS? Or is there something else entirely we should be considering?
The OS question. Well, the fundamental question here is really what ecosystem you're already in, maybe, or what you plan to do with the computer.
Makes sense.
For general use, Windows and Mac OS are quite comparable, both pretty easy to learn nowadays. However, if gaming is your priority, Windows still supports a far wider native game library, just how it is.
Still the king for gaming.
Yeah. But for aspiring YouTubers cutting videos, Macs are often optimized for video editing, partly thanks to Apple's deep partnerships with companies like Adobe.
Right, Final Cut Pro and all that.
Exactly. Then you have Chrome OS. It's lightweight, great for web stuff, but relies heavily on an internet connection, making it less versatile offline.
Okay.
And Linux, well, it's open source, incredibly powerful, but definitely requires more technical know-how. You got to be comfortable tinkering, maybe using the command line.
So it really boils down to your primary use case and comfort level.
That's the core of it, yeah.
Yeah, that's a great breakdown of the big PC decisions. Now, shifting from your desktop to your ears, Tom's Guide also threw out a fun, slightly unconventional idea. Why everyone needs at least 2 pairs of headphones. I mean, is that overkill? I feel like I'm already drowning in chargers and cables.
You're not alone in feeling that tech clutter. But the logic behind the 2 headphone idea is actually quite compelling when you break it down.
Okay, convince me.
It's about having one everyday pair, something durable, reliable, like maybe the Beats Studio 3, perfect for tossing in a bag, taking on a run, just general knocking around.
Your workhorse headphone.
Exactly, your workhorses. The other pair, your bougie pair, as the article calls it.
Okay.
Like maybe the AKG N9 Hybrid or Bowers & Wilkins PI7S3. These are for truly detailed, immersive listening. When you want to sit down, focus, appreciate every layer of music, every nuanced sound in a quiet environment.
Ah, I see. So different tools for different jobs.
Precisely. It's really about understanding that one tool rarely fits every job perfectly, even for something as simple as listening to music or a podcast.
Okay, I can see the logic there. Maybe I do need a bougie pair.
Treat yourself.
All right, we've just built your dream PC and sorted out your audio. Now let's take a trip down memory lane that, surprisingly, connects directly to today's tech. Who remembers AOL? That iconic dial-up sound.
Oh, man, the screeching.
Right. You've got mail.
Yeah.
It's easy to dismiss it as ancient history, yeah. But Mashable makes a fascinating argument that AOL actually pioneered more 2025 tech than you probably know.
It's so easy to look back at AOL and just see dial-up, I know. But stepping back a bit, AOL truly wasn't just that. It was way more foundational.
How so?
Well, think about AOL Instant Messenger, AM. That was basically Messenger, WhatsApp, and Slack combined decades before they were even conceived.
Wow, really?
Yeah. It had buddy lists, buddy icons, emoticons, even before we called them emoji. Dash multimedia messaging, file sharing, those away statuses.
Right, I remember the away messages.
And get this. Smarter Child, an early chatbot, was on 30 million buddy lists and actually inspired Siri.
No way, that little bot.
Yep, it was genuinely ahead of its time.
And the infamous AOL chat rooms. Our source says they were proto-Twitter, complete with anonymous handles, all-caps insults, and, well, creeps.
For sure, chaos.
They apparently made Elon Musk's Twitter look well-moderated with its reliance on volunteers.
That sounds about right. But those early, often chaotic experiments really laid the groundwork for so much of what we do online today.
Like what else?
Usenet, which AOL offered access to in 1993, was basically Reddit. Veterans even famously called the influx of AOL users Eternal September because of how many newbies arrived all at once.
Eternal September, I've heard that.
AOL Chat, the more structured kind, was essentially a moderated Q&A with experts and celebs, a precursor to a Reddit AMA. AOL Hometown let people build simple websites without coding. Think MySpace or early LinkedIn profiles.
Yeah.
Oh, and you can even thank AOL for the modern innovation of monthly internet billing.
Ah, yes, the bill.
And their intense need to scale data centers created what's now known as Data Center Alley in Virginia. A huge chunk of the world's internet traffic still flows through there.
That's incredible.
The key takeaway here is how even seemingly maligned or failed tech can have a surprisingly powerful, lasting influence on future developments. It's fascinating.
From historical influence to bleeding-edge innovation, let's talk about something incredibly cool I saw. Tiny SSDs from China that are small enough to insert like a SIM card.
Oh, yeah, I saw that article. Crazy stuff.
My mind instantly goes to future phones and gaming portables.
Right. What really stands out about these mini SSDs, or 1517s as they're sometimes called, isn't just their size, but their astounding speed.
How small are we talking?
They're just 15 by 17 by 1.4 millimeters. That's smaller than a U.S. penny.
Get out. That's small.
Yep. Yet they boast blazing sequential read speeds of 3,700 megabytes per second.
Whoa. How did that compare?
Well, to put that in context, that's dramatically faster than current microSD express cards, which top out at around 985 memories.
Okay, so a huge leap.
Massively. They're primarily designed for cutting-edge gaming portables right now, but it's not hard to imagine them rapidly making their way into phones, tablets, high-end cameras. Pretty soon, maybe. This is a huge step for compact, high-performance storage, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in tiny devices.
And speaking of cutting edge, how about the world's first 8K 360-degree drone? Say hello to the Anti-Gravity A1.
Oh, cool. 8K and 360.
Yeah. I'm picturing some serious cinematic possibilities.
Right.
But how does a 360-degree camera actually change aerial photography? Is it just a gimmick?
That's a fantastic question because it fundamentally changes how you capture footage. It's not just a gimmick.
Okay.
Our source, who happens to be a licensed drone pilot, says it makes professional-looking footage incredibly easy, like almost too easy.
How so?
With traditional drones, you have to meticulously track a subject to keep it perfectly in frame. It takes skill, practice.
Right, I've tried. It's hard.
But with the Anti-Gravity A1, you basically just fly near your subject. That's it. Then, in post-production, you can reframe the shot, choose your field of view, pan around, all after the fact.
So you don't miss the shot while flying.
Exactly. And the drone itself even magically appears invisible in the final footage because of the way the lenses are stitched together. It's wild.
Invisible drone. Okay, that's good.
It's truly a game changer for content creation. It allows even beginners to achieve those slick, polished results that previously required immense skill and practice.
Very interesting. All right, let's pivot to the ever-evolving world of AI. Starting with some big Apple news, the blood oxygen monitoring feature. It's finally returning to the latest Apple Watches in the US. This has been quite the legal saga, hasn't it?
It absolutely has. A real back and forth. Looking at the bigger picture, Apple had to disable this feature because of that lengthy patent dispute with Massimo, the medical tech company.
Right, the import ban.
Exactly. It even led to an import ban for a while. The workaround they've implemented is quite ingenious, really.
What's the fix?
The Apple Watch Series 9, 10, and Ultra 2 will still measure blood oxygen. The hardware's there. But the actual data calculation will happen on your paired iPhone.
Offloaded to the phone.
Yep, requires iOS 18.6.1 and watchOS 11.6.1. And you view the results in the Health app. It's a prime example of how major tech companies adapt to complex legal and regulatory challenges to bring features back to users.
Clever workaround.
Yeah.
And it's not just watches. Apple is clearly boosting AI capabilities across its entire lineup, aren't they?
Seems like it, yeah.
We're hearing rumors of low-cost iPads with the A18 chip, Vision Pro getting the M5, and even a new Apple TV 4K with the A17 Pro.
Right.
All ready for Apple Intelligence.
Right.
It really feels like Apple's finally going all in on AI on their devices.
You're right. It's a very clear signal, a strong push for on-device AI.
Yeah.
The A18 and M5 chips are absolutely crucial here because they're powerful enough to handle those Apple Intelligence features, which older chips simply can't.
So the new silicon is key.
It's the foundation. While the full scope of Apple's AI plans, especially for something like the Apple TV, isn't totally clear yet, it strongly suggests a future where all your devices are much, much smarter. More proactive. Even Netflix is getting in on the AI game with its redesigned Apple TV app. They're featuring natural language search, like you can just say, I want something funny and upbeat.
Oh, that's useful.
Yeah, it's a huge shift in how we might interact with our media and devices. Less browsing, more asking.
On the topic of AI, let's talk about OpenAI's GPT-5.
Yeah.
There was so much hype. Remember Sam Altman posting that Death Star image?
Oh, I remember. The expectations were sky high.
But our sources suggest the launch kind of failed the hype test for consumers. What happened there? Why the disconnect?
That's a really interesting point because, yeah, the reality certainly diverged from the initial consumer expectation. Sam Altman himself even admitted they totally screwed up some things on the rollout.
Ouch.
While GPT-5 did see incremental gains in speed and cost, which is good, many users found it less eloquent, maybe more robotic, especially for creative writing compared to its predecessor, GPT-4o.
So it felt like a step back in some ways.
For some creative tasks, yeah, that was the feedback. Lots of frustration on social media. However, it's truly shining in coding.
Okay.
It's become a top model for developers, and that's where the significant enterprise money is, right?
True.
OpenAI's API traffic has apparently doubled since launch, and ChatGPT is hitting new user highs. So strategically, it's actually been a win for the company, even if it didn't create that massive consumer splash right away. More of an enterprise play, maybe?
Interesting. So good for code, maybe less so for poetry right now?
Kind of, yeah.
And Altman recently dropped another bombshell, didn't he? Admitting that AI is currently in a bubble, comparing it to the dot-com era.
He did. Caused quite a stir.
What does that mean for the future of AI, especially with so much investment pouring in? Should we be worried about a bust?
Well, his take is that smart people get overexcited about a kernel of truth. He specifically pointed out that some AI startups like Three People and an Idea are getting insane valuations.
Yeah, we've seen those numbers.
He sees that as irrational behavior, warning that someone is going to get burned there, which sounds like classic bubble talk.
Definitely.
However, in the same breath, he still predicts a huge net win for the economy in the long run. He even made this bold prediction about Gen Alpha grads potentially heading straight for super well-paid jobs in space by 2035, thanks to AI and space tech.
Jobs in space.
Yeah, throwing out there. It's this fascinating mix of short-term caution, watch out for the bubble, and extreme long-term optimism. Especially when you consider his company, OpenAI, plans to spend literally trillions on data centers.
Trillions.
Right.
Mind-boggling.
Right.
With all this increasing AI power, safety is becoming a huge concern. Anthropic, makers of the Claude chatbot, just updated their usage policies to address what they call a more dangerous AI landscape.
That was a significant update.
What kind of specific changes are we seeing there?
What's crucial to understand here is the specificity of their new rules. It reflects a growing industry awareness or maybe anxiety.
Like what?
Anthropic now explicitly prohibits using Claude to develop high-yield explosives. Also, biological, nuclear, chemical, and radiological weapons, CBRN weapons.
Wow, okay. Getting very specific.
Very specific. They've also added strict rules against using Claude for cyber attacks, like creating malware or tools for denial of service attacks.
So locking down the more obvious malicious uses.
Exactly. It really demonstrates a proactive attempt to govern the potential misuse of these powerful AI models. Interestingly, they also loosened their policy on political content slightly.
Oh,
Now, they only prohibit content that is specifically deceptive or disruptive to democratic processes, which is a notable shift from potentially broader previous restrictions.
Oh, okay. Still a tricky area.
Very tricky.
And speaking of digital safety, it's not just AI companies adapting. Google is now blurring nude photos and messages on Android.
Yes, saw that rollout.
And separately, we've got a lawsuit against Roblox regarding child safety. These are incredibly serious topics, and they really highlight the ongoing challenges companies face in keeping users safe online.
Absolutely. What's really impactful about Google's new sensitive content warning system for blurring nude photos in Google Messages is that the detection and blurring happen entirely on device.
Ah, so it's private.
Yes, that's critical for privacy. It means the images are not sent to Google servers. It's rolling out on Android now with controls for adults and parents.
That's good.
However, the source does note that while it helps, kids can unblur it instantly.
Oh, right.
So it stresses the critical ongoing need for conversations about safety and responsible online behavior. It's a tool, not a complete solution.
Makes sense. And Roblox.
Regarding Roblox, yeah, the lawsuit from the Louisiana Attorney General is pretty serious. It alleges the platform knowingly and intentionally failed to implement basic safety controls, exposing children to predators and harmful content. It cites some disturbing examples like a game called Escape to Epstein Island.
Yikes.
Roblox, for its part, disputes the allegations strongly. They state they dedicate vast resources to safety, including 247 human moderation, advanced tech, and they point to features like age verification and parental controls they've implemented.
So clear disagreement there. Definitely. It illustrates the complex and ongoing battle companies face to ensure online safety for young users while navigating these really difficult legal and ethical responsibilities. It's a huge challenge.
Absolutely. And one last quick one on how we consume information. Google is now letting you pick your own news sources for searches.
Ah, the preferred sources feature.
Yeah. This sounds like more control for us, the users, which seems good. But I can also see some potential downsides.
Absolutely. It's a double-edged sword. Google's preferred sources feature does give you the ability to add specific news outlets or blogs that will appear more frequently in your search results.
So I can boost sources I trust.
Exactly, which on the surface feels like more control. However, media literacy experts like Alex Mahadevan from Pointer, who was quoted, express a valid concern.
Which is?
That it could further push people into echo chambers, meaning you might primarily see content that just reinforces your existing beliefs.
Ah, filtering out other perspectives.
Potentially, yeah. Shutting out other legitimate news publishers and limiting exposure to diverse viewpoints. The real implication here is that subtle tension between personalization, which we often want, and the broader goal of being genuinely well-informed.
Yeah. More control, but maybe narrower vision. Something to think about. Wow. From optimizing your PC build to understanding the complex world of AI safety and online platforms, it's clear that tech is always evolving in fascinating and sometimes pretty challenging ways. Every day brings a new twist.
It really does. The sheer pace of innovation. I mean, from a tiny SSD, you can insert like a SIM card to AI models that are learning to teach us things or even predict the future in some ways. It's truly mind-boggling. It
Yeah.
really makes you wonder what surprising tech breakthroughs or, fundamental shifts in how we interact with information are just around the corner. What new digital challenges will pop up next, and how will we as individuals and as a society adapt to them? It's constant adaptation, isn't it?
It really is. Constant change. Well, thanks for tuning in to Bite-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.